Happy Thursday, everyone. We got a fun little on-the-minute kind of practice work set today. It could be quite intense if you'd like it to be, but it's a nice Thursday day just to kind of work on some skills, touch base on some things, and get prepped up for tomorrow's long kind of adventure. So, before we get to the work set, what we got going on? Sumo Good Morning, 3 to 5 reps. Sumo Squat of 3 at 3-1-3 tempo. Narrow Squat of 3 at 3-1-3 tempo. And a single leg RDL. Kind of a slower pace, but there's no tempo technically, but take your time. We're just really trying to wake up and tap into those hamstrings a bit. 2 rounds of that just to really get the body moving after yesterday. So we want to make sure we're giving our body and that lower body the love it needs. After that, we're going to work on some skills. We're going to work on some heel taps, some ankle pops, and some skipping, or some sort of hopping variation if skipping is not in the equation for today. After that, dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull for 3 aside, and a dumbbell hang snatch for 6 to 10 alternating reps. So we'll talk about the difference between the hang and the floor snatch. So, taking that down, as many rounds as you need to get yourself prepped to working weight, get yourself feeling good. Then we're going to move into our on the minute for 12 minutes. So that's going to give us 6 rounds of work. Minute number 1, you will tackle double under 35 to 60 reps in that minute, or what we're looking for is 30 to 45 seconds of skipping or double under practice today. So it's a great day just to practice the skill of the double under. If you're getting there, if you're trying to link some, this is a great time just to say, you know what, I'm going to give myself 30 to 45 seconds of practice, give myself 10 to 20 seconds of rest, just go, whew, okay, and then get prepped for minute number 2. Minute number 2 is dumbbell hang snatch for max reps in the minute. Max reps does not necessarily mean I'm going to go balls to the wall and just try and go hard. It could. It could also mean I'm just going to have some time to practice some skill, work on some good quality movement, rest for a few moments, get a good set in there, and just really take the time to work on some good quality snatch work. So however you're feeling today and what you want to focus on, make that your primary focus today in minute number 2. Because then you're going to go right back in to minute number 1 and work on that skipping or cardio piece of choice. So let's go back and forth, nice little couplet work set here. Let's have some fun, let's get you warmed up, let's get you ready. All right, let's get those feet under those hips. We're going to take the arms big and tall overhead. We're just going to shrug the shoulders a bit, come back down. We're going to take those arms over to one side. We're going to come back up. We're going to reach it to the other side. And we're going to come back up. We're just going to shrug and pull those shoulders back down. We're going to forward fold, touching those toes. We're going to walk with those shins, nice flat back. We're going to come on down, framing the foot, stepping back into your lizard. You can take that inside hand to the sky. Rotate, forearm to the floor. We're going to come back up, big stretch, rotate, forearm to the floor, big stretch, and then rotate, forearm to the floor. We'll come back up, nice big reach, plant that hand, take the outside hand up, with that twist, and then plant that hand on the floor. Stepping back, we'll set up in that down dog as we reach those hips. We're going to come back into our plank, pressing through the floor. We'll step the other foot up into that lizard, nice and square in the hips. Inside hand is going to reach to the ceiling. We're going to rotate. Forearm coming down. We come back up. Rotate. Forearm coming down. We come back up. And rotate. Forearm coming down. Big stretch. Plant the hand. Outside hand reaches to the sky. Bringing that hand down to the floor. We'll step back into our down dog, and in this position, setting the shoulders good and strong, push and hold one foot, switch it over the other foot, walk it back and forth, nice and gentle. And we'll come back into our plank, tiptoeing those feet all the way up, and roll ourselves up, big stretch. Good big reach and reach. Bring those hands down. Let's get ourselves ready to go. So let's pause the video if you have any extra movement you'd like to take down, maybe some extra shoulder stuff. Some really nice stuff too is that side plank reach through. It's a really nice option that helps stabilize the shoulder and work on a little bit of rotation work. Good prep for these dumbbell snatches as well. So if you have any extra movement in there you'd like to do, take it down now. I'm going to start moving into that next phase, which is going to focus on waking up that lower half. All right, we're going to kickstart off with our Sumo Good Morning. So we're going to get into our Sumo stance, nice little wider stance. I'm going to turn profile so you can see my hips and my back position. So from here, what we're looking at, setting through those ribs and hips. You can use your hand reference at the chest and the low rib if you'd like to make sure we're not breaking. We're going to set, we're going to draw the hips back into that hinge. In that hinge, we're going to stand up nice and tall with a big squeeze at the top, drawing back, nice solid position, come back up nice and tall, drawing back, and then standing tall. So we want to make sure that as we do this good morning, we're really focusing on the drawing back of the hips and the softness in the knees. So we're not trying to straighten out our legs and lock them out. We have a soft bend in them so we can really tap in to the hamstring in that movement. Trying to maintain that engagement the entire time, so only really think about going to about 90 degrees at the most, opposed to 45 or deeper. 45 is good if that's your range, but if you have that 90-degree range, take it to that 90 degrees and really push those hammies. From there, we're going to move into our Sumo Squats. So we're separating these two today. So getting all three of those into those Sumo Good Mornings. We're going to set our top position, and we're going to push those knees out slightly, drawing those hips down to the heels, and then standing up nice and tall. So really focusing on that slight pressure out so that those knees continue to track the toes. So something that's really good to keep in mind, if I set up for my Sumo Squat and I start to squat and I can't get my knees tracking those toes, it's probably a good indicator that I might be too wide. So I want to bring those feet in a little bit so that when I do squat, my knees track my toes and they stay in good position. So kind of pay attention to that stance and those knees. Once we're done our Sumo Squat, we're going to come super narrow. We're going to come into our regular squat stance and then take it in a little bit. So whatever stance feels good for your narrow squat today. And you're going to listen to those same key points of performance, except you may find your range is a little less or not. It depends on you and your ankles, hips, and knees. So listen to your body. These two squats are very different, and you may find you might not have as much depth in that narrow squat. We're still focusing on keeping the weight through that midfoot. We're trying to keep that body in a good tall posture and those knees tracking the toes, but again, they won't be pushed out as much because the feet are narrower. From the narrow squat, we're going to take it to our hip width stance, and we're just going to get one foot into that nice solid kickstand, bringing those hips back to square so that they point straight ahead. You can load this or not, but we're going to focus on drawing the hip back in that single leg RDL. Again, just to wake up our hamstring and really focus on drawing those hips into that square forward position. So we really want to check them on each rep. And something you can play with to make sure that they stay square is just keeping your hands on your hip crease and making sure that they're not rotating as we pull back and as we stand tall, making sure that they're nice and square at the top of your single leg RDL. So moving slow, there's no tempo with that, but definitely add in some slower paces there so you can keep track of the hips and your balance on that single foot. As a quick recap, we have a Sumo Good Morning for 3 to 5, Sumo Squat for 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo, narrow squat for 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo, and a single leg RDL for 3 aside. Loaded, unloaded, up to you. Don't feel like you have to load this because we're really just trying to open up those hips from yesterday's deadlifts and lunges. So hit this up. We got 2 rounds of work coming at you. It's going to get those legs ready. We're going to move into some skill work coming up right after this. All right, let's work on some skills. So we're going to continue building our skipping skill work. Even if you don't have room to skip or an apparatus at home to skip with, we're still going to build the skill posture and the skills necessary to rock that skip. So that when you do get a skipping rope in your hand or you have the space, you just fall right back into that routine. So we're gonna start off with our heel tap. And our heel tap is that quick tap of the heel. So my toes and heels will be right together. I'm gonna stand nice and tall, ribs are set, body's upright. Now from here, I'm just gonna relax my arms and shoulders, but I'm not gonna let my shoulders kind of collapse forward. I'm gonna stand with good posture. And from here, I'm just going to tap my heels. So I'm gonna lift and tap those heels up and down, trying to keep them relatively quick. And I'm not really coming up very high. I'm just working on that fast rhythm and tapping those heels nice and quick. So really, if there's someone standing beside you, they're trying to just go, trying to slide their hand underneath of your heels, and you're trying to squish, squish, squish. So they're just enough space to get their hand under, and you're trying to pop it down. So we're going relatively quick. A lot of people find that this is challenging because they lose their balance. So they start tapping, and all of a sudden they travel forward and start leaning forward as they tap, and they kind of fall forward. That might indicate if you're a skipper and you tend to travel forward, that might be why. You tend to be a little bit more forward lean and into your toes, and that's carrying you forward as you skip. So we want to try and stay nice and centered and balanced through that tap. From that heel tap, we're going to move into our ankle pop for another 10 seconds. And the ankle pop is just practicing that bounding. So I'm going to take my hands up to my hips. My elbow's going to be slightly back. I'm going to get that little jump, allowing my knees to get into the equation, allowing my ankles to do some more work, and I'm just going to feel out the relaxed shoulder and arm. So you are going to have a little bit of give in your arm as you do this, and the hand motion is going to be very similar to flicking water off of your hands, right? But that is just a byproduct of the bound. So I don't want you to try to make that happen. Just let it happen. And you're going to work on those ankle pops for 10 seconds. From there, we move into our skip. So if you do have the space and room to skip, you're going to skip for 20 seconds, working on those singles and just getting that good single rhythm going. If you don't have space to skip, you can do a couple different things. You can work on longer ankle pops to work on posture. You can work on your in-outs, so to work on a little bit of agility. You can work on a dumbbell lateral jump over, so you can work on lateral hops, skips, or steps, nice and fast, working on some agility and still waking up your ankles and getting things fired up. So some sort of hopping motion or stepping type motion to get that heart rate up and those ankles ready. We're going to do that for about 20 seconds. Once you're done that little triplet, we're going to start playing around with the dumbbell work. Now we're going to move into our dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull. So I'm going to do the first one facing the camera, and then when I go to snatch, I'll do one facing that direction and continue with the snatch. I'm going to stand over top of my dumbbell, so it cuts my foot in half. I'm going to draw my hips back into that good hinge, taking the body down. So my chest is going to be a little bit higher and my hips a bit lower. I'm going to push through those legs, opening my knees and hips, and then finishing the motion and carrying that momentum up to that high and outside position. So the motion, like so, smooth from the floor, build momentum, finish off the momentum, keeping the dumbbell close. So it's all legs and hips, the arm finishes. Now, the motion from the side, to show my elbow position, I take it back and down in that good hinge to wherever I feel comfortable on the floor, pushing through those legs, and then I pull into that nice high and outside position, elbows going back and up, and the dumbbell stays close, almost like I'm trying to put the dumbbell head into my armpit, but it's not going to get there. Then I'm going to move into my snatches. So I'm going to do 3 per side dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull, and then I'm going to be standing in this high hang position. So for our hang snatches, it's going to start at the hip. I'm going to take the dumbbell to the knee, I'm going to push through the legs, carry through that high and outside position, come down with the dumbbell, switch hands. Take it to the knees, push, stand tall, come back down, switch sides. So I'm using that momentum from knee to hip into that high pull to get the dumbbell moving. When I feel that dumbbell moving, I carry through, follow through, and activate overhead and punch the ceiling. So from the side, what it looks like, I hit that good hinge, dumbbell comes to the knee, drives to the legs, keep it close to the body, stand in that good overhead position, and continue through. Hinge, stand tall. Now a very important fact here with the dumbbell snatch, and that's the importance of that sumo deadlift high pull, is that high pull coming high and outside keeps the dumbbell close. We want to make sure that when we snatch, the dumbbell isn't swinging out in front like a dumbbell swing. Right? It's two different movements there. You want to keep that dumbbell close, and that's going to be very efficient, especially as that weight gets heavier. Now for the hang snatch position, the dumbbell does not go to the floor, so it's going to stay around the knee somewhere just above the knee. Some people find hang dumbbell snatches more challenging than from the floor because they don't have as much time or momentum to get on the dumbbell, so they find they can't quite move the same loads as they can from the ground. Some people don't find that at all either, so you have to kind of feel it out and go by feel, all right? For myself, I find that the hang is a little bit more challenging for me. I can definitely snatch more from the ground with a dumbbell and a barbell, technically, for myself. But you may be a little bit different. You may find that that quick turnover allows you to get more momentum on it and get that dumbbell moving. So listen to your body, see how they feel today especially, and let's work on some good quality movement. As a quick recap, we have a heel tap of 10 seconds, ankle pop for 10 seconds, working on posture in both of those movements for skipping. Then we'll work on the skip for 20 seconds or some sort of hopping variation. Dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull to work on the leg drive and the follow through, and then the hang snatch, so taking the dumbbell from the knee into that full range of motion into the snatch for 6 to 10 alternating reps. You'll hit that through, I'd say 2 to 3 times, making sure we're getting ourselves ready, working on our cardio piece of choice in place of that skip, but still keeping that heel tap and ankle pop to work on the skill of skipping. Pause the video, rock it, figure out your working weight, come join me for our workout. Okay, we've made it to the work set, you guys. Let's have some fun. We have an on the minute for 12 minutes, 6 rounds of work. Minute number 1, double under, 35 to 60, or single under. I'll have some numbers on the workout description. Or you're gonna work on 30 to 45 seconds worth of skipping practice, be it single practice, double unders, or if you'd like to use heel tap, ankle pop into some skipping, you can use that triplet in your minute of work. So 10 seconds, 20 seconds of skipping. With transition and setup, you're gonna be working for about 50 seconds there, and that's gonna give you a good chance to work on some skill work into the skip. So keep that in mind. You can totally use that little triplet we just used in our warm-up in your skipping minute. Minute number 2, dumbbell hang snatch. You're gonna go for max reps. So how this is gonna look in the workout, the dumbbell will start on the floor. You'll stand tall, you'll take it down, you'll do a deadlift. Now you're at start position. Then you'll start into your snatches, alternating back and forth for the minute, or for as long as you need to maintain, get good reps, rest a bit, do some more. You have a minute to do what you can. So a couple different approaches. You can work on practice, so practicing good quality movement, taking your time, maybe doing 2 to 4 reps at a time, quick rest, 2 to 4 reps, quick rest. Or if you really want to go for it today and crush your soul, just hammer out some good reps. If you feel your form starting to fall apart a little bit, take a little break, try and get some more in. Right? Get ready for that next minute. Do that all over again. So minute number 1, skipping. Minute number 2, dumbbell hang snatch. It's going to be a fun day. Again, approach it the way you need to approach it for you today. As always, work for quality, have a ton of fun. If you ever have any questions at all about these work sets, a focus, what should I do today, never hesitate. Drop me a line, send me a message. I'll be more than happy to give you some insight into these work sets. Have a great day, you guys. We have a fun workout coming up tomorrow to celebrate and kind of commemorate the Terry Fox run this weekend. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a lovely cardio experience. Bye, you guys.